reminds me of the old days with the gold rush. This place used to be booming. IBM had 18,000 people over there. Now IBM is employing about 800 left. I know last summer they had about 1,400. You go around this town, all the stores are vacant, empty. The properties are run down because nobody wants to put money into them and the taxes are way too high. And you know, the only thing it's missing is the tumbleweeds. Instead of tumbleweeds, we got ventilation systems. Basically, I live on top of a toxic plume, and nobody wants to live on top of a toxic plume. I would like to move. I would like IBM to buy my building so somebody else doesn't have to buy it and live on top of a toxic plume. They contaminated this property and they should have bought it. Building 18 where the spill happened is probably about 35 yards across the street. And I sit right in the middle of it. And that's how I'm notifying them, by putting that sign on my building. It's a public notice.
I own a clothing store in Endicott, New York called the Re-Up Clothing Store, which is located at 5.5 Washington Avenue in Endicott, pretty much right around the corner from the old IBM plant. In all fairness, my customer base is young teenage kids. Do they care about the pollution, or do they care about money more? Obviously, you already know the answer is money. So money is the recession is a way bigger influence on why my business isn't doing well. But in the long run, if you look at it as far as the pollution, that's not a helpful factor either. As a matter of fact, it hinders it more than it does anything. I feel as if I could have God make an appearance 3 days a week here and people still aren't going to come in. I got an apartment out here and I have a business out here, and neither my landlord or the landlord of this building that I pay rent off of told me anything about that, not one word. And that's something they definitely should. I understand it's not a selling point, but you know what I mean? It's obviously one of my would have been a deciding factor. I mean, rent's cheap, cheaper here than it is in Binghamton. So I figured this would be perfect. Plus there's nothing like this out here, but it's obviously not.
My involvement in the IBM chemical spill started when I found out two of my daughter's classmates had cancer, and I was concerned about that. And about the same time, I read an article in the press about something called vapor intrusion, which was the result of chemicals that IBM had spilled back in 1979 and afterwards coming up into homes. After that, I found that out, and having worked at the plant for close to 15 years at that time, I kind of decided to get involved as an activist and put some pressure on IBM to do a better job cleaning it up, get it cleaned up faster. And one of the first things I did is I wrote a letter to the editor saying that I felt IBM should clean it up, basically.
I thought it was too good to be true. Also, no security deposit. Boom, I was right in, I had the keys in a day, and I was putting the sign up the next day, and we were open the day after that. So everything was really quick, boom, 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 let's get you in here. Don't worry about the details, blah, blah, blah. And maybe that's why, or maybe that's part of the reason why. This is something people need to see and hear about.